All right. So, hello. What an arduous journey it's been to get this shit up and running. Um, I wish I could see things like who's chatting, who's online, all that kind of nonsense. Oh, there we go. Ah, evening deck. How's it going? All good? Yeah, can't complain. I'm alive. I'm happy. I'm alive. It's the main thing. Oh, so what about this wheel of struggle, eh? Dear me. It's been good couple of weeks before anyone's talked about season 5. Um, I don't know if anyone's really that interested anymore. I certainly hope so. Um, I just you look on the Discord and you see guys like Floof and Fish and yourself doing all these wonderful little streams, like with Advance Wars yesterday and Azure Dreams as you did quite recently, and it makes me really relish the days where we be streaming quite regularly for not me, of course. I didn't do any of this nonsense. But really relish those beautiful times where we did the wheel on a weekly basis. Oh, really makes you think, doesn't it? It'd be really, really good time. This would be a really fantastic time to drop some announcements, to get the hype train running, to get people excited for what's to come. Really would be, wouldn't it? Kalorin, welcome in, my friend. I can't remember how you described him before. I, it's something like a brother from another mother, but I think there was an English twang to it. So on that basis, I guess you'd be my yank from another sperm bank. Oh, let's cut that. We can cut that, can't we, guys? Brother from an English mother. Yeah, that's much nicer. We can cut that, can't we? I mean, who's in charge? Oh, it's just me. Oh dear. That's fine, isn't it? Cool. Well, we're getting quite a few people in now. I think if I see a third person comment in the next couple of minutes, perhaps I'll reveal what we've been squirreling away this entire time. Come on, guys, you can do it. Don't make me feel so lonely. Hey! Tough shit, Mark, man. You are so close and yet so far fetched. Okay, well, peeps, let's drop the bullshit, shall we? The council have been tickling your balls quite a lot as of late, vis-a-vis season 5. We've been, you know, dropping little hints here and there, and there might be some secret squirrel riddles that you've not noticed, or you know, you've been a bit too thick to see past all the bullshit. But I think it's time for Chapter 5 of the Wheel of Struggle to be revealed. That is to say, Chapter 5 of The Story of Struggle by SUC and Knuckles, the novelization of the founding of the Wheel of Struggle. It's, it's been a long time coming. People have been clamoring for this for so long. They've been kept saying to me, Octo, when are we ever going to see someone write down into physical page and Kindle ebook for anyone who has it, the story of how this all came about? Well, I'm here to show you. I'm here to give you a preview of Chapter 5. Chapter 5. So here we go. This is the novelization of the Wheel of Struggle. This is called. Oh, I won't reveal what it's called. I think that'll become quite apparent. So here we go. Our first misstep was finally behind us. Mass Effect had a massive effect on how we thought the great struggle ought to be conducted. It necessitated our first review of games and revision of rules, as well as a single solitary point for the Return of Octobot, for braving every second of a grueling 7-hour attempt. But the time had come for the wheel to choose the next harbinger of agony. Once more we crept into the haven of the New Forest, under the cover of darkest night, to that cursed, spoiled piece of earth where the wheel resides. Once more Alondite brandished a silver knife, so cruelly made and yet so beautiful in the scant moonlight. Once more Caithias took out a fluffy bunny and placed it on the altar, now stained a dark, dirty crimson. A flash of silver, a flood of hot, innocent blood. A moment of silence stood before that awful structure. It was a moment just long enough, always long enough, for the gravity of our sins to weigh heavily on our hearts, and then, ever so slowly, the wheel began to turn. Slowly at first, though the squeals of rust and struggle became had fully abated now, before picking up into a furious pace. The words etched upon its satanic surface became but a blur, and at the apex of its spin, I swear I could see a new image form on the surface. It was gone in a moment. The very moment the thunderous speed began to die, but there are times when I close my eyes and I can see it still. And when I do, I feel a chill travel through to my very soul. Good evening, Caithias. Despite it slowing down, the sound of the cursor striking each prong rattled our bones and made our teeth chatter, but slow down it did. The segments themselves were the first to re-emerge, separating from each other like the grim, sticky birth of a dozen abominable burdens. Then the words etched upon them began to unblur. The cursor's clatter against the wheel became a series of terrible thumps that matched the beating of my betrayed constable heart. The cursor made one final, agonizing thump and finally came to a rest on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh, how fun! TMNT is one of those games that everyone who had an NES owned, but no one who owned it could ever complete. It was a relic of the bygone Nintendo hard era, with its labyrinthian levels, exceptional difficulty, and half its playable characters being fucking dreadful. It was, therefore, perfect for the wheel. The three of us, Caithias, Octobot, and Alondite, would start the timer with enough knowledge to hit the ground running, but with no guarantee that any of us could even smell the shredder, let alone beat him. It would be a battle of attrition, one that Octo, already ahead in the competition by a single point to Alondite, felt assured in victory, and so he confidently declared that the winner would be decided either by completion or, failing that, by points accrued. This was, strategically speaking, an absolute clusterfuck of a decision, one exacerbated by the expansion of the wheel's combatants. Introducing first from the glitchy, dank pub where the internet goes to forget, comes a challenger that many believe had been forced into a series of trials by a rogue AI error. Tempted by a tournament and lured into a trap designed to find the greatest gamer ever, this poor soul was chosen, perhaps erroneously, to undertake the system's savage schemes. In truth, he boasted skills that many could only dream of. He was also Scouse, but no one's perfect. All we know is he's called Quantum Player 1. Introducing second, we have Decky F. He's a good lad. Despite being adept at platformers and harbouring a deep appreciation for gaming's pre-Polygon era, the Octobot had very little assurance that he could beat the game, merely that he could feasibly progress farther than the dam, and therefore the competition. So it's a shock to himself, a shell shock if you will, as much as anyone, that he found himself inside the Technodrome after 2 hours and 50 minutes, dropping just 5 continues. It was the last stand, the final push before the shredder, and potentially his greatest achievement of the struggle thus far. Unfortunately, he'd already died by this point, and with scant time remaining, for this round had a lean 3.5 hour time limit, he called it quits. Unbeknownst to Return of Octobot, first place had already been lost. He watched with savage curiosity that peeled into disquiet as Decky F made his first brave attempts in the realm of a Ninja Turtle. He ducked, he weaved, he leapt with incredible grace into dangers unknown, and, remarkably, dropped lives in great and harrowing numbers. He made very little progress and died not without dignity, but certainly without grace. No, first place would not go to this debutant, but to the fabled warrior trapped between two harrowing hellscapes, the endless machinations of an AI desperate for knowledge, and Liverpool. When Quantum Player 1 entered the fray, he was quietly brimming with modest confidence. He betrayed his skill only when he deftly navigated the dam and the sinister seaweed that sat beneath the water. He only truly revealed what an awesome competitor he would prove to be when he conquered the shred with such ease that you think the game was embarrassingly easy. So, first place was lost, and how? To Octobot.
That's all fine,
He told reporters with an air of nonchalance.
we should welcome any and all to participate, especially if they'll push us to try harder and be better.
The tabloids relished in how staggeringly handsome and humble he was, yet the well of well-wishers would quickly turn into a pit of snakes when the second blow came. For Caithias had a plan. Some would dare call it a plot, some even a scheme or a strategy. Historians would later shout down those who would decry cheat, but offer a more fitting nomenclature: cheese. Caithias knew that he could not reach the Technodrome. Hell, he'd been stumped by the scuba tanks in the dam level, not realizing there were bombs the entire time. So how did Caithias resolve this quandary? How did he overcome the hurdles that separate him from his rival and reduce his points deficit by 1? The answer was simple. Octobot had placed the goalpost so points accrued would take top spot after completion, and enemies could spawn ad infinitum. Thus, the man called Fish simply rooted himself into the very first sewer he could find and killed every enemy until he exceeded Octo's score. It was as diabolical as it was tedious, but it was also perfectly within the rules set by the Octobot. Caithias was rewarded for his tenacity and his out-of-the-box thinking, and Octo learned a powerful lesson. Beware the pitfalls of loose rules. With no time left on the clock and no competitors left to run, this was 2021 after all, TMNT closed with a brand new competitor accruing 3 points in his first game, only 1 fewer than what Caithias entered the round with, whilst the erstwhile Fish regained ground against an Octobot that had just pulled just 2 points ahead of his nearest rival. The next wheel spin would mark the halfway point of the inaugural season and would tip the board over in a manner no one could have expected. Points would be spread in new and terrible ways, and our strugglers would delve into the deepest, darkest recesses of the gaming dungeon, when that great and terrible cursor finally landed on Super Baseball Simulator 1000. Well, I hope you enjoyed Chapter 5, the sneak preview of Chapter 5 of The Story of the Struggle. Handsome Strife, I'm sorry you've missed the entire thing, but it was completely uncontroversial, deeply loved by everyone, and exactly what we were all expecting. I don't know why you're still here. I've got nothing else to shill but my upcoming novel. By all means, if you pay me £50, you can get an advanced copy where it'll be signed by two-time champ Return of Octobot. You're not going to steal my Ocarina of Time. That is fairly expensive. It was at the time, but I was very poor at the time. And it's also a genuine ocarina. Yes, so advanced copies, £50, comes in whatever condition I see fit, and it will be signed by me, former two-time champ, hoping to be, get back onto that. I'm not going to play it. This is an educational stream. A literature stream? This is a stream about words, not about music. However, again, if you send me some money, perhaps I'll record myself playing it. It's also been a very long time. I can only remember the Song of Time, so shut up and leave me alone. Cool. Well, thanks everyone. I hope that this satiated your curiosity and your thirst for all things Wheel of Struggle. And hopefully I'll see you again very soon. Toodle pips! Why isn't my mouse working? There we go. Toodle pips!